Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that very kind introduction, and thank you for the warm cheering. I appreciate that. You've had a lot of coffee this morning. But it's a great pleasure to be here this morning, and we're all here for a wonderful cause, and that is to have some good bagels. Well, there might be something else, too, that we're going to do here this morning, but seriously, it's great to be here at the Old School Bagel Cafe and to be able to have some great bagels and to be able to witness what is important and what is great about Oklahoma, and that is the ability to have small businesses, homegrown businesses like the Old School Bagel Shop Cafe that is here today, and what makes it successful. And not only are we going to have some good bagels here, but this business is about creating jobs. It's about creating revenue. It's about helping Oklahoma families. And so I want to thank the owners of this bagel shop for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do. Well, 4 years ago, you might remember that I started out, I came here to Tulsa to announce that I was going to run for governor. Well, at that time, I was also serving in Congress. And one of the things that I've learned about our politics in our nation and our politics in our state is that we in Oklahoma get fed up with the partisan, gridlock, do-nothing politics that we see coming out of Washington, D.C. The idea that big government, that more bureaucracy can solve our problems is just not true that we see coming out of Washington, D.C. And that ideology that we saw coming from the Obama administration that has led our nation, I think, into some turmoil and some times that is not helpful for our nation is just the opposite of what I wanted to do here in Oklahoma. You know, I thought, and I still believe, that we have a great political system in our nation. But I also saw in Oklahoma an opportunity to do something better, to show the nation and to show the state of Oklahoma that by pro-growth conservative policies and values that we could create a very successful state that creates jobs and opportunities, that creates a better place for Oklahomans to live, work, raise a family, and to invest. And that's the opportunity I wanted to create. And because of those conservative principles that I ran upon, that many of us in the state have been working upon, we've been able to take a challenging time since we came through a national recession and have what I call a great Oklahoma comeback in our state. When I took office back in January of 2011, we'd come through some pretty tough times, not only as a nation, but certainly as a state. Our unemployment rate in the state of Oklahoma was 7%. We had spent down all of our rainy day savings account to where we only had $2.03 in that rainy day account, kind of like a kid's piggy bank. It's not worthy of our state. Our country had also gone through some very challenging times, and we had seen more growth in big government, big spending coming out of Washington, D.C., and I didn't think those types of policies were Oklahomans. So Oklahomans and Tulsans all across our state responded to a message that I gave when I was running for governor, and so here we are today to kick off our re-election campaign. And Joe, you're right. When I ran for governor the first time, I did say no one would work harder for Oklahoma, no one. And so I've worked very hard to turn our economy around and create a more prosperous state for all of our Oklahoma families. So I got to work, and we've been very, very busy. And it's not been easy. So here's what happened. Well, as I mentioned, we had a very high unemployment rate when I started. We had a budget shortfall of $500 million back in 2011. As I said, our rainy day account only had $2.03 in it. So we began to work towards solving those problems and putting in place a pro-growth, pro-jobs agenda for the state of Oklahoma. So we started by, first of all, balancing our budget, something that Washington, D.C. does not know how to do. Unlike Washington, D.C., we can't print money in the state of Oklahoma. We have to balance our budget. So we prioritized our spending on important things. We made tough choices in the state of Oklahoma, and we all began to do that together. Next, we began pursuing policies that would help create jobs, help create the best environment to be able to invest, best place for our families to be able to live. We eliminated red tape and bureaucracy that many times stifles small businesses like this business here today. We also began to pass what I think was very important, and that was pro-growth policies like legal reform in our state. We rewrote our workers' compensation laws so we could help reduce the cost of doing business in our state, but also taking care of our employees. We passed legislation to reduce our taxes in Oklahoma so Oklahomans could keep more of their hard-earned money in their pocket, and so that businesses would be able to reinvest and create more jobs and opportunity in our state. And those are some of the great things that we did. Then we started working on our education system, our workforce in the state of Oklahoma, making sure that Oklahoma schools had high standards, high academic standards, that we expected more from our schools. We wanted to make sure that our children got the very best education possible so they could succeed and grow up to have either a career or move on into higher education and get a college degree. And then we also worked to eliminate government waste and to make government more efficient and more effective. In fact, just this past year, we were able to pass legislation to consolidate or either develop shared services with 75 different task force agencies, boards, and commissions. 75 in just 1 year, which is quite a bit, to save our taxpayers' money in our state and to make sure that our government is running more efficiently. Not only has that resulted in savings, but it's also improved what I think is very important, and that is the quality of service that we offer to our customers, which is the taxpayers of the state of Oklahoma. So on every front, we worked to build a business environment that was conducive to investment and job creation and job growth. And those policies have worked today. And we're in the middle of what I call an Oklahoma comeback. And it's a better time for our state. So, what's been the results of the last couple of years? Well, that unemployment rate that was at 7%, it's now dropped down to 5.3%, one of the lowest unemployment rates in the nation. That rainy day account where we had only $2.03 left in our savings account, now we have over $500 million in our savings for the state in a very short time. And Oklahoma families, you know, one of my goals is to make sure that Oklahoma families do better. And our per capita income in our state rose by over 8% since 2011, giving us one of the best per capita income rate growths in the whole nation for our Oklahoma families. So they are doing better. And that means when families have more money, that they have more money to put towards education, towards health care, towards buying a home or paying other important needs for their state. And so that's some of the accomplishments we've been able to accomplish by the pro-growth, pro-jobs policies that we have been putting into place. But here's the challenge. We've done all this great work, but when we see things like we've been seeing the last couple of weeks out of Washington, D.C., that means that we're still not finished with our job. We still have more that we have to do, and we're going to be working on that. But in the meantime, nationally and internationally, it's fun to see Oklahoma get some great recognition. Now, when Forbes magazine lists Oklahoma as one of the best places, one of the top 5 actually, in the nation for our best business climate, that's a good indication that we're on the right track in our state. Now, as I said, we're in a comeback, but there's still a lot more work that we need to do. There are still some challenges in the state of Oklahoma. Our job is not finished. We do need to still focus on health care. We do need to still focus on education, on transportation, on public safety issues for our state, so we can continue to make Oklahoma the best place to live, work, and to raise a family. And those challenges, as I mentioned, are many times challenging for us because of Washington, D.C. and some of the policies that we see coming out of Washington. So that's why we're going to keep fighting to overcome those challenges that they present to us. But make no mistake, we're going to continue to move forward in the state of Oklahoma. And we're doing so. And I think, frankly, that we could teach Washington a lesson or two about what it looks like to be a successful state, to be a successful model of government. But that path to success is not going to be a new government program or more big government spending or more burdens upon our taxpayers in the state of Oklahoma. It will be built with the hard work of entrepreneurs like the people who started this company, the hard work of the entrepreneurs around our state, our small businesses, our men and women who sacrifice so much to create jobs and opportunities for our citizens. And in this state, we believe actually in rewarding hard work. We try to stand by our small businesses. We don't believe in punishing them. And that's what I love about Oklahoma. It's a very special place. It's a great place to live, to work. And that's why I've been fighting to put into place the right type of policies to help make Oklahoma a great place to live. So that's why I'm asking today for your support for my reelection for governor in 2014. And I continue to promise that no one will work harder for Oklahoma, no one, than I will. And together, I do believe we can continue to keep Oklahoma moving forward in a great momentum that we have built since 2011. I appreciate all of you coming out today, and thank you so much for your support.